by using motion platforms, etc. And we also do weight, center of gravity, engine layout, analysis. This can all be set in the software itself, so you have like a really most accurate visualization of your system and the vehicle that you want to simulate. So we can basically link our UC Winroad to different simulators using a Simulake plugin. And then that can basically export all your data, velocity, stopping, how many times you're stopping, into a log data system. And you can use that data to analyze and study what you want to study. One great example of our driving simulation application is this 8 Degrees of Freedom driving simulator here. So I'll show you a video of this quickly, and let me get that out. So right here, you can see this is the 8 Degrees of Freedom with motion platform. Inside of the simulator is a real Honda sedan. And this is a really, really good simulator that we have with 360 degrees projection outside of the view of the actual vehicle. So you can test how it would be to drive up, say, a foggy mountainous road on a rainy day, etc. And this is all done with linkage to UC Winroad. And other than vehicle driving simulations, of course, we can also do traffic simulations. So traffic flow, traffic volume, congestion, they can all be simulated within UC Winroad. So say you're trying to work on traffic countermeasure evaluations, you're trying to analyze accidents caused by traffic, you're trying to analyze and study how road maintenance might interrupt traffic, and how traffic patterns can change due to commercial activities. We can do all of that. Also, for construction purposes, we also have the noise simulation. So if you have a construction project, you can visualize the impact of your construction project on the local environments using this noise simulation. And of course, we know there's oftentimes a lot of natural disasters in Japan and of course around the world as well, but especially Japan is prone to many natural disasters. So we do like overflow flood simulations. It can predict the social impact of floods, and we could also see how hazard maps could be used in a real situation by simulating it, and a visualization of floods with respect to time change. And likewise, tsunami simulations is also possible. So we can do analysis of the tsunami height, time of arrival, velocity, distribution maps, and evaluating wave strength, exerted on buildings. And we can also predict the flow of debris. So you can simulate to see how your area's preventative measures may or may not satisfy the requirements needed for this kind of disasters. And finally, there's also wind and fluid analysis simulation. So this is useful, say, if you're trying to predict changes of airflow within an area before and after constructions of large buildings like high rises and office towers. You can analyze and evaluate the wind forces exerted on a building. You can predict the movement of hazardous gases emitted by vehicles or chimneys. And you can also evaluate potential temperature changes at crowded areas due to waste heat. So we have maybe 10 more minutes left, so I'll go a little quicker. We can also do construction simulations, of course. So building, construction, civil engineering projects, underground projects. We have also done train simulator projects for research and development, educational purposes, training purposes, and others. And like we said before, you can also use different types of hardware. For example, we can use projectors or monitors to link with our software, so you can see the environment in a more realistic perspective. And you can also use head mounts, VR head mounts, Oculus, HTC. And of course, we have earthquake simulators and terrain, cable, and particle models. The one large 8 degrees of freedom driving simulator that we showed you was a customized solution that we worked on with the China Ministry of Transportation. And we have also worked on other truck driving training, customized driver training solution, and railway solutions customized for users. So if you have any need for any customized projects, we are, of course, more than happy to help you out with that. And of course, we also support a variety, a really great spectrum of plugins and SDK development. So if you want to develop your own plugins, or if you want to request us to develop them, we can also do that. So some case studies from the past, including in this hospital, they used our driving simulator to research and analyze how their driver would behave in a certain environment in order to study the rehabilitation in their patients. So like I said before, there's also truck driver training used almost in like a game-like simulation to train their drivers, but also there's also fuel efficiency and eco-friendly driving experience simulations, traffic jam, environmental situations, simulations, and also even training for welders. So a trainee can wear a VR headset with an analytical device on their body, and this would be able to simulate and train them with their welding skills and analyze how they're doing as well. This is pretty cool. And every year we have our Forum 8 Design Festival. Last year, we had our 15th Design Festival, and within the Design Festival, we have 3 main contests, one of which is the 3D VR simulation contest. And just wanted to show you an example from this year's contest. So this year, our Grand Prix went to the National Science and Technology Center for Disaster Reduction. They are from Taiwan. And what they worked on with UC Wynn Road here is they were able to do a flood simulation of an area that is called the Baolai Hot Springs town. So they're trying to see how heavy rainfall and overflow might affect this area, and how many people would be affected by this within a certain time frame, and what kind of people are most vulnerable. Say like there's an elementary school over there, how many people are in there. There's like a community center over here, junior high school over there. So we were really impressed with the simulation that they did with the software, with our UC Wynn Road software. And we're very proud of their work. And we hope to be able to help for future disasters with our simulation. So going back, so that's it for VR Design Studio. Next, just a teeny touch on the other CAD software that I mentioned in the beginning called Shade 3D. It's a comprehensive 3D CG software. You can do everything from modeling, rendering, animation, and 3D printing all within the same software. Our newest version is version 22. And this is a list of the new features in version 22, namely GPU ray tracing and AR noise reduction is really, really good. So for GPU ray tracing, before I think ray tracing was previously only supported by the CPU, but now you can do it with GPU, but provided that you have the right graphics card. And you can see that previously something that would have needed a lot more time can now be rendered within just 2 seconds on a GE4 mid-high model. So you can see the rendering in action on this video here. So you can see glass reflections images. They're reflected in real-time display here. The actual speed of the GE4 graphics card is shown in this video, and larger scenes can be tracked with progressive rendering. You can see the glass building right here. Reflections of objects outside the field of view on the curved surface can be seen accurately. And changes to material settings are immediately reflected, allowing you to simulate the texture in real time, all thanks to GPU ray tracing. So next is the AI noise reduction. So the problem with conventional rendering is that you generate a lot of high frequency noise here. And in order to make these images noise free, the simplest way was to improve the quality of the images, was to increase the amount of calculations. But of course, this would increase the time to denoise it by a lot longer. So for this reason, there's been a number of speed up techniques that have been devised. And of course, with AI denoising, a scene like this one, that originally would have been denoised using the radian cache method, we can now use the AI denoising method, and it reduces the time by almost 90%. So lastly, just wanted to mention that this year in November, we're going to hold another round of Design Festival from the night of the 15th all the way until Friday the 18th in November. So if you're interested in learning more and if you want to join any of our contests, please feel free to check it out on our homepage. And thank you so much for joining us. And here is a QR code for the survey that we would like you to access at the end or during breaks for the seminar. So I'm going to settle down and change gears. And I hope you guys are all ready and set with your softwares as well. Because I'm going to start doing the software operation now. So are you ready? I will start now. So I believe my colleagues have sent you guys the guidebook either last week or today or yesterday. So if you are lost and you don't understand, please refer back to this guidebook. This is a really comprehensive guidebook, so a lot of information is in there. It's a bit difficult to juggle, but as long as you follow it, we're going to go through it today. We're going to go through the terrain creation under VR simulation column, the road generation, driving simulation, and landscape, a little bit of landscape simulation and modeling setting models. All right. So on your computers, please open up your UC Win Road software. And then please go into your license manager and check that you have the right version. And you can see over here, your license should be authenticated using the right area and user codes so that you can actually be using the software with me along the way. And you can see there's a lot of different plugins and versions. So when you're using your version, you can select or deselect whichever plugin that you may or may not need. So next, we're going to look at project settings. So in default settings here, you can change the language to English or whichever language works best for you. And then you can see that there's also location settings. So today we're going to work on Japan. So that's also the default setting country here. So please make sure to select Japan for today's project. And then now we're going to create a new default terrain. And we can open that within the new project, Japan. And then here you can see a map has been generated. Actually, let's just open up a default terrain first, so it will be slightly easier to explain. So it will take a few seconds to load. So, okay, now we're in. I hope you are also following us on your devices as well. So this is a default terrain in Japan. You can see
we recommend NVIDIA chip.
Oh yes, and please make sure, or like if you can, we recommend the NVIDIA control panel here. It will work best for the operation of the software. So you can see if you open the information here, you can see that I'm using the GeForce GTX NVIDIA graphics card. So next, some basics. The mouse, it has 6 options. Look is moving your viewpoint. Then we have zoom. It moves the camera forwards and backwards. You press shift so that it will help you move faster to put the booster on. Move is right, left, and up and down. If you choose fly, you can do high speed movement in the direction that you clicked using the right click. You can right click. You can also do a rotation around this white circle if you use your right click. Just keep on clicking on it. And if you press J on your keyboard and press any point on the screen, you can jump to that point. And then other than that, we'll move on to the camera positions. Actually, no, we're going to move on to the plan view here in the edits ribbon. So this triangle fan here, what it is it's perspective. So it's the camera view that your project is being viewed at, and you can change that by dragging it or by clicking the change camera view. And next, we have visual options. Sorry, going back to the plan view. So all your projects will start at the origin at 0, 0, as you can see on the bottom left. And this is like, if you press on this box, this small square box here, you can return back to the original settings for your camera view. So next, let's move on to visual options. So visual options controls a lot of different things, anywhere from models, whether you want to show or hide them, pedestrians, animals, and displaying lighting, and change in lighting, time of day. Here, I'm moving the clock to see the different changes. You can display or choose not to display shadows. And you can also change the weather, can put on different shades for the sky. There's like a default cloud. There's like a more gloomy, cloudy day. And then onwards, we can change the weather, we can change the intensity, heaviness of the rain, drop size. You can change the drop size of the rain and the snow. You can change the direction that it's falling at, the speed that it's falling at. You can add some thunder, intensity of flash, you can also change that. And coming out, other than that, we also have like different field of view options in views. So you can do changes to the degree that you're viewing your environment at. You can open up left and right side views. So this works really well if you have multiple screens to work with. And next, we can also change our coordinate system, which is really helpful here. So here you can see you can change the coordinate system according to UTM coordinates or other coordinates like the Japan or New Zealand ones. So now we're going to do a terrain generation. So please open up Japan in the new projects. And we don't need to save our work here. So see, we're back at this window again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to create terrains. And you can do this with 10 by 10 kilometers or 10 by 20 or 20 by 20 kilometer mesh choices. So first, please make sure that your map grid is set to this specific one. So you can actually zoom in by clicking that third magnifying glass and then using your left click to pick a square that corresponds with the data that we're working with today, which is 5,339:35. So I'm just going to try matching it. So please bear with me here. It's really precise. Okay, so I found it. It's here. All right, and then we can press OK. So now it will load the textures automatically into the environment here. So while we're waiting for this to load, I just wanted to remind everybody, sorry for forgetting this, our guidebook is a comprehensive guidebook for like the levels all the way up to the advanced training. And that usually takes at least 6.5 hours to complete. And we do not have that much time today, so we will not be able to cover every single section in this guidebook today. But we're going to try to go as far as halfway through the curriculum. So thank you again for your understanding. So now I'm in. So what I can do here is I can change the terrain with my triangle to change the height of the vertex here. And then now I'm going to actually do some pasting of satellite images from the street map function here. And I believe everyone, you have also received the data, right, ahead of time. I saved it in my C drive here. For this seminar, we're going to use the satellite images right here from C11 all the way to C33. So we're going to put those images in right now so that we can paste it onto our terrain data here. We're going to pick no conversion, and then we're going to apply for all. And then now you can see I have imported my satellite image into the editor here. Okay, and then I'm going to load it onto my terrain here. You can see it's right in front. I'm going to zoom and jump right in there. And this is the piece of data that we'll be working with today for our entire project. We'll be building on top of this. We'll be working inside and editing different elevations, changing the pond data, etc. So the first thing we're going to do is 3.2.4 on page 19 of the guidebook. We're going to try to do a load terrain patch. So go into edit and there's the patch option button here. And then we're going to, of course, load data again from the data that we have saved up here for the seminar, and then go into terrain patch and click on the XML file here. And we're going to open it here. and then pick triangulate, and you can see how this area has been triangulated on top of the satellite data that we just pasted onto the terrain, onto the original terrain. So if you look closely, you can see these vertices that you can also manipulate and change according to your needs if this was a project that you're working on. And if you want to get rid of the yellow markers here, you can press the space key, press space. So now I'm just going to go into visual options, and we're going to change the terrain. Choose 1 meter slope 0, and we're going to change it to the city 001 so that it actually matches more with the actual satellite image that we just picked. And then moving on here. Let me show you that what we generated right now. You can see each point. This is called the tin data. You can see each point. There's the height and specific details for each point. So next, let's go into patch again. And you can see you can add points. So say you wanted to elevate 1 point, you can do that here. And then next, we're going to go to the road definitions. Now we're going to try to make a road inside this space. Go into edit and then plan view. And then just going to magnify this area again. And then according to page 21, we're going to build a road likewise with 3 points from 1 to 3. So there's 2 types. There's make road and make road spline. We're going to use make road. 1, 2, and 3. And just right click finish road. And then you can see for each of these points here, you can double click it, right click it. You can double click or right click it, go into edit, and you can edit the turning point. Specific one is, this one is 1. You can see that there's like a global latitude, longitude coordinate. And you can check whether it's corresponding to the one on page 22. And if not, you can edit it yourself so that it will correspond to it. So lock it after you have edited it. And then press OK so that it will. So the X here, you can do an auto fix, but you can also just edit it. And then make sure the turning point 2 also corresponds to the one in the booklet, page 22. And then lock this and press OK. But please make sure in type that it's a clothoid circle. And then parameters here, the radius is 200, and then lock it. And then the third point, make sure it matches turning point 3 on your booklet. Point 5. 0.5. Okay, lock and okay. Okay, so now we got all the points set for our road here. So now we can double click this road, and then we can edit this road itself, road 1. So what we can do here, for each of these points here, they correspond to a vertical curve point. And we're also going to edit these according to the data on page 24. And then again, lock it after you have done so. And then turning point 2. Change the left slope and left distance. Change the coordinate for y. And then change the VCL to 100. Make sure it's correct and lock and okay. And then the third point. Lock and okay. Now it's completed. If it's displayed as the one image in the booklet, then it's completed. So now you can see that like this entire the entire road is represented in black, and then the elevation, the terrain, is represented in gray in the back. Now we can press OK, and then take a look at the road that we generated. So this is the road, and then you can see the gray area representing the terrain is matching that green embankment over there. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to try to add a tunnel here. So you go into plan view again, and then this icon here is for adding tunnel. So we're going to press onto it. So just a quick follow-up. Is anyone falling behind, or am I going too fast? If so, please let us know and we'll go a bit slower. You can tell us in the chat or just by saying so. So one person asked, can we change the road marks such as directions, arrows? Yes, we can. So let me just answer you in the chat as well. Okay, all right. So then let's move on. So in the tunnel here, there's a tunnel editor that will pop up, and then as long as you input the data according to the page, the data on page 26, it should be fine. Please change, don't change the color, leave it as yellow and then lock it, and then that's fine. Okay. All right. So now you can see where there was this part that was open before has now been changed into a tunnel. And then what we can do is we can start a drive simulation here. We can pick our road and then pick the vehicle that we would like to drive on the road. And then press OK. And then now we're driving from the end of the road, which starts at the beginning of this tunnel. You can see how it's going pretty slowly right now. You can actually change the velocity and speed, but we can go inside and then we can see there's full side view mirrors, there's a rear view mirror, and a real GPS system inside the car as well. And we can also look at the different views from left, right, and center. And let me come back, and I'm gonna come out now. So let's get out the car. And then next, let's try doing some section definitions. So right here, this is the section editor behind this icon, beneath the plan view icon. Okay, so up until now, we have finished with all the road, plan view, horizontal and traverse roads. So now we're going to move on to the sections of the roads. So we're going to work on loading from the data that we have stored in our C drive. In section, there's 2 lanes. We're going to load that inside the software here. Now we're going to choose this one, 2 lanes, including a sidewalk and a tree planted. Double click, and you can see the 2 lanes here, and you can see how it's represented here on top. And you can see you can change the parameters to your right. So if this were a tunnel, how it would look. If this were a bridge, how it would be. You can see this is a tunnel, it would be like this. If it had cutting, it would look like this. If it had banking, it would look like this. And you can also, of course, change the angles, the heights, etc. for the banking and cuttings. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to continue to edit this particular section by zooming in on it. And then right-click, edit section. So we're going to pick the right one, and the one that we wanted was called 2 lanes, including a sidewalk and tree planting belt. So press edit. And OK. We're going to rebuild it. Okay, zoom in here. Zoom, zoom. All right, you can see this is the actual road that we're looking at down here. And it has been divided into sections. All right. So we're going to download according to the road DB listed on page 28. This is the basically the preset models that we have inside our software. So please go and press close. Okay. So now this was what these sections looked like if it were a tunnel. And okay, let me jump to this point. You can see the road here. So next, we're going to generate an intersection with a secondary road. So first, let's go into plan view to build the secondary road so that we can make an intersection with our road number 1. So let's do the same thing, make road. Okay, press point. Let me just restart, sorry. Point, and another point. Okay. All right. All right, so this is our road number 2. So I don't know if you remember when the elevation is the same, the intersecting part will actually be automatically generated into an intersection. So I'm just gonna make sure the elevation is level with the second road, where the second road is represented by that dark muddy green line. Okay, let me just edit it a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay, so you can see here now that it's been generated, this intersection. So we can go into it and try to edit it as we need. So the size shall be 40 meters. And then you can see it's a very clean intersection right here generated. All right, let's edit it inside the edit intersection. So we have so many options here. You can add in roundabouts, you can check that, change contours of the roadsides. The shape, basically, of the corners. You can change the texture of your road for this part of the intersection. You can change the resolution, basically, as well. You can do like a really high resolution. And you can change the texture with the texture editor. Please press it. And this is the automatic one here. We can also do it manually, but there's an automatic one here. And you can do an automatic generation, so you can see all the lines. And also we can draw on like a crosswalk if we wanted to. So you can choose the types of crosswalks. We're going to choose this one. You can change the colors to yellow if you wanted to. Or even orange. Maybe in some areas there's orange crosswalks. So it's like really stands out really well. All right. So I have 4 crosswalks drawn here. And then we can actually tilt the angles by clicking on the mouse icon first, and then you can change it just by clicking with your mouse. Okay. All right. And then you can see on your actual road that the orange crosswalks have been added on. So, Next, we can actually also change the sidewalk texture if you wanted to. So again, go into edit intersection with right click, left click, sorry, left click. And then, so you can go into intersection, sidewalk textures, pick one that you might like the best, or we'll pick one here with the tiles, blocks, and then we're going to change the rotation, degrees of rotation to 127, and the scale is 138 actually. It's better. So we picked the block sidewalk. $136, 137, 135 works. Okay. So if you can also change it to 70 and 135 for the degrees. And then you can see we added this block texture sidewalk onto the road. All right. So next, let's work on the models in the model panel library. So go into your library. And here we have different models, apartments, houses, condominiums. We can add vehicles, railways. So let's do this one, Asian building 3DS, and then we can put it here just by clicking on the area. You can click onto the model itself and it will show you like where it is. So like when you pick a model, please be careful when you're clicking on the environment, because once you click, it will place a model there. So there's a model here. And I'm just going to rotate it a bit so that it's in a better position. All right. So this is, you can just move the positions with these, oh, but you have to save it. Remember to lock it and save it, or else it will just go back to the original placement. Okay, sorry. All right, now it's in a better position. So I want to add another building to the right here. Okay, let me fix this one as well. All right. All right, you can see there's two tall buildings now. And then after adjusting, We can move on. And we can actually work a little with the visual simulation now. So this includes time and weather and visual things like fluid data, noise data. So we're going to start off with the trees. So this is on page 39 of visual options, visual simulations. So let me go into my library and find trees. So we're going to find the iTree006, and then I'm going to place one right here. And then instead of doing every single one manually, what you can do is you can, instead of doing one by one leaf and branch or join in detail, so you can register new models from the tree list editor. So go to new 3D tree. And then here you can work on this one tree and change its shape, how the branches are branching out, what type of trunk it has. And you can even adjust what types of branches and how the branches are angled out, how it's projecting. You can show blossoms, you can show leaves. You can change it to fall leaves or green leaves. You can show how it's blowing in the wind. You can change the leaf profile by tilting it or projecting it or pulling it in and out. And then I'm just going to go with this one. And then we're going to close this. So now you can see it's been added to our list of tree models. And I can put it over there. So you can see there's a difference between these two trees. The green one is a 2D model, and the one that I just made is a 3D model. So it's a lot more, it has more dimension. That is to be, of course, that is guaranteed. Okay, let me just slow down the wind so that it's not blowing as rapid and as fierce as before. So up till now, do we have any questions? We're thinking that we should do the 10-minute break now so that we can maybe have people catch up and ask some questions. And if not, we're going to take a 10-minute break and continue on to the second section after 10 minutes. All right, so now we're going to take a 10-minute break. So we'll be back around 3:13 Japan time, or I think that would be like 4:13 Australia time or whichever time zone you're in. So in 10 minutes, we'll come back and continue onto the second half of our demonstration and the operation training. Thank you. All right, welcome back, everybody. The 10 minutes is up, and we're hoping to jump right back and finish the second half of our seminar training today. So, moving on, since we jumped right into the visual options with the tree models and apartment buildings, etc., we haven't done the sections editing yet. So we're going to go back and edit sections for our road. All right. So you see the right line here. When you press Control and do left click, there's this red line here that will appear outside the model. And what you can do is move and basically move the model easily. And if you want to rotate, press Shift and Control together. And then if you want to drag it down, basically you press Alt and then the left key on your mouse. And then press the space bar to get rid of the red line. And then finish. So we got our buildings, we got the intersection and our trees, but we still have to do the sections. Okay. So we're going to go on with side objects. It's on page 41. So go into Edit, Side Objects. Okay, so this is where street signs are and trees as well. So let's pick this one, tree 015, and put this as a new model. So this is a roadside tree editor. We can put this on either one or two, either of the roads that we have. And then you can put them on the left or the right side, and then you can group them into like different groups. So according to the guidebook here, its start position is at 3 meters. We're going to put 50 instead of 48. And then right in the editor window, you can see the detail for the label, basically, for each of the trees that we just added in. And then we can add also like street lamps. So I'm going to go with street lamp 4. Put them on the right side. Group them into 30. And then go OK. And then close. All right, so you can see the trees on road 1 or 2, and then the lamps on the other road, street lamps on the other road. And if you click on any of these lamps, you can actually see that its positioning, and you can also change its positioning, and you can apply it for just that one lamp or apply for the whole group of lamps. And then you see the lamps are now moved from road 1 to road 2 where the trees are. Nice. Okay. Like this tree is in the middle of the intersection, so I'm just gonna delete that and check everything if it's all right, and then I can take a drive on the road that I just made, the second one here. And you can see while you're driving, on the left you have these trees, and then on the right you have the lamps. Change up the time of day and the weather. And then you can see like the lamps light up with lighting at night. And then turn on advanced lighting to get the headlights from your vehicle. And you can change the color of your headlights. Our headlights are actually all up to the automobile industry standards. And yes. We can also generate traffic now. So on our roads here, you can change the profile, basically the types of vehicles that you want running on your roads. So you can see there's a proportion. So you can change this as you need to, or you can just go with the default proportions. These are all default model cars, but if you had a particular car that you want to run on your road, you could also customize it with your own model as well. We support that in our software. Okay, so now there's going to be 500 vehicles per hour on this road. Road 1. And then road 2, I'm going to increase the traffic to 2,500 vehicles per hour to make it a little bit more busy. And then now I can generate traffic. And then I'm going to fast forward so that the cars at the end of the roads will come. And now you can see them in the middle here. And they all got street lights on, and let me go into the daytime, and you can see the difference. All right. Okay, so now that we're done generating traffic, I want to track back a little and make a lake and generate a forest, because they were in the original satellite image that we generated and pasted onto the terrain here. So first, I'm going to start off with the lake. So what you can do here is go into plan view, zoom in, and you can see where that lake should be. And then over here, it says make a lake. This icon, we're going to do smooth edges. And then we're going to basically just click and draw in the area that where we want to place our lake. This is the shoreline of the lake. And then press OK. And then you can see a body of water has been generated. You can edit the length of the waves. You can change the height above sea level. You can change the color of your waters. You can do all sorts of changes here. You can change the texture. All right. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like this. And then after that, let's move on to the forest over here. So we're going to zoom out and see the entirety of the forest. Okay, and then we're going to go into edit, and there's a create forest feature. Select that. And then we're going to circle in the area that we want our forest to be located. And then according to the guidebook, it's 2,500 on page 40 of the guidebook. For the number of trees. So now we have all the trees in the forests. So these are all just bushes, not trees. Apologies for that. So we do want a lot of bushes in our forests. So make sure you also have the bushes selected. Okay, and then let's press add a different type of thing other than grass. How about the kobushi trees and L309 and some more variety of things like tree 013. Sorry, let me redo that. I didn't press OK. All right, so now we got a diverse ecology of trees in our forest next to the lake. So we can move on to generate more things in our environment now. So we are driving on the left side in Japan here, but we want to generate a right turn lane at our intersection. So let me get the road corrected. So right here on this particular lane, we're going to make it into a right turn only lane. And then, so we're going to first edit intersection and then go into texture editor and then select the correct lane. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let me get my arrow for the right turn. So sorry about this. So it's in roadside objects, and so we're gonna pick the right turns ground marker and set this. Let me try one more time. I am sorry. The distance 351 meters, offset 9 meters. Sorry, just gonna check the intersection from the aerial view here. Okay, sorry. I am a little stuck on this right turn sign, so I'm just gonna come back to this later. And then let me just get my original intersection back. Okay, so here, this is the drive path. So for this lane, lane G, if I were to want to do a right turn, I can change it like this, so that any traffic generated and driving on that lane, it will automatically do that right turn. Right. Let me. I'm gonna choose an SUV to show you the inside and how we can drive. So front cart detection on, and drive on road. So now I'm inside of that SUV. Let me just get the SUV. Okay, no, okay. So now I'm inside of the SUV and I'm capable of detecting the speed of the vehicle driving ahead of mine. And I'm also controlling my own driving using the up, down, right, left keys on my keyboard. And what we can do is we can export that data that we just generated using log data systems. Okay, now I'm driving and I'm also recording the data within the log system. Sorry, I apologize for the horrible driving because it's really hard to control the vehicle with just the keyboard keys. Okay, now I'm going to stop and I will save this data in my C drive. And this is the data that we just generated from the drive just now. So you can basically instantaneously get the data from the software. So this has like even things like yaw angles, positioning of the car, time, etc. Right. Okay. Now let's finally get our gears back on track with the section editing. I apologize for the delay. So let's zoom our plain view again. Then here we are. This is the main road that we have. And then you can see the different roads. We're going to choose the road 1. And then we're going to add section change according to the one in the guidebook. Okay. All right. So now I have these roads, the 2 lanes road, sectioned into 2 different areas. I'm going to make a total of 3 different sections. So now this is the 3rd section that I will add on. Okay. Right. So now that I've zoomed in, I hope you can see that there are 3 different sections now. The first one on the left, and then it's expanding, and then finally there's like a no man's zone in the middle, and then it splits into 2 roads that are farther away apart from each other compared to the beginning when it was like 180 degrees straight. Okay, now I've changed it so that the area that bulges up is in the middle. So section 1 is flat, section 2 bulges up, and then the 3rd road section returns back to the straight line. And we can actually view each section in more detail in here, as you can see. And I can rename each section. Okay, so I just made one road a little bit wider than the opposite side. Okay, and I've made the wider row. I've split it into 2 lanes here with the indented lane marker in the middle. And this is the left one, right lane 2 road. So if you look closely from the aerial view, you'll see that this road has actually changed because the sections has been edited. So the shape of the road has changed a little bit. All right. All right. So let's continue. So this is the this was the section editing. So make sure that you're following along. If not, we will answer any questions. So we've finished the terrain creation section. We have done the road creations section. We have done tunnels. We have not done a bridge yet, so let's get to the bridge. So making a bridge is the same as making a regular road. You start off the same. You draw a road using your make road icon, finish road. And then we're going to edit it. This is called road 4. This is the 4th road that we have made so far. And then we're actually going to change the altitude. Elevation, so that the road is in the white area, which means it's above ground. You can see the muddy green colors. Those are like more or less like ground level. Whereas like when you're in the white part above, you're like beyond above ground. So this is a bridge. Okay. So you can see this is what the bridge looks like, one part of it. And then we are going to generate this one into the actual environment. And that's it. It's generated. Let's take a look. It has been generated. Oh, okay. So you can see on top of the original road, now there lies a bridge on top. All right, so that's pretty easy. So we have done models for the apartments and the buildings and the trees. For the landscapes, we have done time and weather. lake, trees, side objects, lighting. Okay, let's do the background. We haven't changed the background yet. Same thing, go back to plan view, zoom in. And then for background, there's this layers to the left. There's an icon called layers. And then go to make backdrop. There's a make backdrop icon. And then same thing, you make lines with your mouse and encircle the area, the environment of which you want to change the backdrop. Finish backdrop. And then there's preset backdrops that you can choose from. All right, I'm gonna pick this one here. Or you can go into the database, which also has backdrop, preset backdrops. Okay, and then you can see on the horizon, the backdrop has been changed. It has a lot more buildings now. Okay. And we did lighting, we did traffic generation and driving. We did a little bit of landscaping, script, flight paths, walking simulations, save camera positions, VR cloud. So we didn't do script flight path yet. But let me just go through them one by one. First, save camera positions. So the camera position is located on the ribbon up top. Essentially, you can save a particular perspective as a camera position, and then later on, if you want to come back to this very positioning, you can just click a number and then it will take you back to this position that you saved. So right click on the screen and then go to add camera position or save current position, save current position, and then edit camera position, and then camera position 1 will become that position that you just saved, and it will be represented by the key 1 on your keyboard. So whenever you press 1 on your keyboard after you saved that into that position, you will always jump back to this camera view. And you can do this for up to at least 10 camera views, I believe. So now I want to add another positioning here. So I'm going to save this position and then we'll call it 2. So it actually automatically generated itself as 2. So you can just press 2 and it will take you back here. Okay, walking simulation. So instead of drive, you can pick walk. And then basically you can move your arrow keys to walk in the environment that you're in. So this actually requires a flight path. Sorry, just got ahead of myself. Okay, so there's this flight path right here, this icon. We're going to make one. So press on it. And then same thing, you draw lines, and that's going to be the path that you'll be walking on. finish the flight path. And if you do a loop, it might be weird because you'll be just going in circles. So just draw a straight line. Yeah. And change it to on ground, or else you'll be on up in the sky. Okay. So now if we have that drawn in, you can now walk on that path that you just drew in. And you can actually visualize the flight path if you check the flight path in the visual options. Okay, now let's take a walk. And of course, you can also pick like an avatar for yourself. So there's a preset ones here. You can also download them from the database that we have. So there's like many different human characters. So I'm gonna go with this one. Download it into the system. And that's what it will look like when it's walking. All right. Okay, male character. And you can do the add walker option, and then there we go. They're gonna go on this flight default flight path. Sorry, I forgot to press the flight default path. Yeah, okay. So now it's generated. And you can see his positioning and like the details about his path. Okay. And finally, the script. So we can make a script in the script animation ribbon by adding, and then camera. So we can do different movements where we can pick move to camera 1 position, and then we can add another script, move to camera 2 position, and the time maybe like 3 seconds, starting from 0 to 3 seconds, and then we add those, and then you can actually see the camera moving. So we can make flight path again. So it'll make the script of the camera look a lot nicer. This time we're going to use a loop, flight path loop. So this is a model. All right. Let's add like some street sidewalk models here. So I'm going to add in a flag. Make sure it's scriptable.
そういうことです。
Okay, and then we'll add this part into the script. And this will be for the 6 second. So we have this look at meet option. So when you press the fly icon, it can start with the camera looking at that positioning. So let me just fix this so that we can generate that as well. So we're gonna add waypoint to fly path. And then okay, let's do that. Gonna make sure my buildings are also scriptable. And then the Asia building right here is the look at me starting point. Distance is 1 meter, so that it's a lot faster to get to the point there. All right. Okay, we're going to travel and choose fly, 3D flight path 2. Press OK, and then see how that works. So we start at the building, that's 3 seconds. This is the flight path, and then we move to the flag position. And then that was the script that we made. Let me add in one more point here so that our flight path script lasts a little bit longer. So, okay. Okay. Right, let me try the starting at the building, Asia building, and then this is the flight path walkway. So it will loop around the building because we made the loop, and then finally stop at the flag. Sorry, I'm just gonna make the loop so it doesn't go through the buildings. Okay, let's play. starting at the Asia building, going through the walk path, loop around the buildings. Okay. We get a 360-degree view and then finally stop at the flag. Okay, so that was a simple script that we made, sort of like a storyboard. And I think other than VR Cloud, we have covered everything on today's list. Oh, this is not right. Okay. So VR Cloud can be accessed from our home page here. So you can see every year, I just said in the presentation at the beginning of the seminar that we have the 3D VR simulation contest. I showed you the Grand Prix. This is the second prize. I can show you it using VR Cloud. So you can download it right here. So up till this point, do we have any questions? If you do, please put it into the chats. If you would like to speak up, please just unmute yourself and we would like to take some questions too. Okay, if not, I'm going to continue and try to show you the VR Cloud. Sorry, I'm running into a little bit of a technical difficulty here, but we will have it fixed right away. Sorry. Okay, let me install it on my computer first. So once you have it installed, you can see this inside VR Cloud. We have various scenarios that was generated from VR Design Studio UC Win Road. So this one here is a tourist destination in Japan called Kamakura. It's famous for this big Buddha sculpture. Of course, we can also go into the city and go on to this city tram or car bus, is it? It's a bus, okay. And we're just driving through the roads of Kamakura to see the temples and what the actual city roads are like. You can use a walking and so VR Cloud is a collaboration that we have with VR Design Studio. So say like right now during the pandemic, you can't really go out and travel, but by using a VR technology like this, you can actually get to see different things from around the world that people have generated using this simulation technology. And this was all done using VR Design Studio. Okay, so I think we are pretty good on time, and we want to enter into the final Q&A session now. So I believe we have around 10 attendees. If any of you who are still around, thank you so much for sticking around until the end. Please let us know if you have any questions, and we'll be more than happy to help you answer them. So let me see. One question from Mr. Stanley. How to export to game or web browsers? Need speedy and small-sized options. Okay. So let me try and help you out with that question. How to export to game or web browsers? Need speedy and small sizes. So there's a so in a plugin of ours,
CBS モデルとして
so let me go to the home page. There is this plugin of ours in the UC Winroad project page. Go to purchase, pricing, and then inside of the plugin list,
我们支持 3ds 或者 FBX 格式，可以把整个场景连同录一起，以这个格式输出完这样。
So, to answer your question, we can use the 3ds or the FBX file options to export or import the data that you want, and you can use this method to export to a game or a web browser. And then we have a second question, how to compare with Revit. DOL 4, 5, in, out, IFC format, easy missing data and create problem. How is your software in this area, in this particular case? Okay. We have an IFC plugin and DOL 4, 5, in, out. So you can export IFC files really easily using this plugin. And you can load them using the function right here. You can load in models and multiple models as well. And a third question, does it support Open BIM standard, and how, if so? Okay. So for the BIM standards, we only support the ones for Japanese standards right now. So we actually do not have the Open BIM standard for overseas users. We will always be looking out to expand and update our software in order to support more options. But at the moment, we do not offer the Open BIM standard for overseas. 上面好像还有一个问题不对哦，好像 OK。So for the first question about how to export games or web browsers, we can also use this export scene plugin in the advanced version of UC WinRoad, and you can see here that this function enables the outputs of all models with geographical features in 3D space of UC WinRoad in an arbitrary 3D model data format. For example, it will be possible to use it with various editors and tools such as 3ds Max by outputting it in 3ds formats. Okay, another question from Stanley is map projection. Do you have Hong Kong Grid 1980 government project projection defaults? I think we have map terrains. Not sure if you're talking about the same thing when you say map projection. Let me just show you map terrains. So let's see, let's find out if we have a Hong Kong grid 1980 government projection default. Okay. So let me just Google Hong Kong so that we can get a better idea. Let me just zoom out a little. Yes. Okay. So we are showing you the grid of Hong Kong, and we're just gonna import it into UC Wen Road. All right, a fifth question from Stanley. Can you demo a small point cloud data input? Is it easy? Okay, we'll do a small point cloud input right now for you. Okay. So, now I'm gonna download some features from OpenStreetMap, which is a open source data that you can access, and one of the many open source data that UC Wen Road supports. Okay, so this area that we just downloaded is in the Hong Kong city area. And then you can see these are the models that are in this area of the city. If we had already downloaded a satellite image, we could paste it and make it more realistic. Unfortunately, we did not prepare a satellite for this particular Hong Kong area for today's demonstration. Okay, now let me try to do the point cloud input. So this is a Shibuya scramble visualization that we have here. And I'm just going to do a point cloud version of this area. This is a famous district for shopping and entertainment in Tokyo, Japan. It's one of the busiest by foot traffic. And you can see once I uncheck the models, you can see the point cloud data that we have generated using our LiDAR technology. We can get an even sharper look if I turn the sky off to a completely black backdrop, and you can get a clearer idea of what the point cloud data looks like. So I'm going to move on to Mr. Tan Hao Min's question for the Vism plugin. Is there an export import road network function? Vism plugin, is there an export import road network function? So let me just see if we can show you. All right, so right here from our up and coming publication, you can see the linkage with Vism described here. So in UC1 Road, our users can use micro simulation players to input animation files made by PTV's Vism. That is, it's a traffic analysis tool, and it visualize and traffic analysis results. And we have implemented the new function in this particular update in version 14 to compute real-time vehicle data to Vism, and it reflects the data and the calculation results of surrounding vehicles to our software, UC1 Road. So I believe we do support Vism linkage. Let me just show you a video of how it happens. All right. So in this video, there's a traffic synchronization that's been simulated and visualized using our software, UC Winroad. All right. So this is done through a Vism plugin, and we hope this video could be helpful to your question, to answering your question. So thanks for showing. Thank you for asking. Would like to check how the Vism network was created by import, or we'd have to build network in both software and link them. Thanks again.
这个是不需要两边都进，道路线性可重复。
You don't need to build it in both softwares. You can just import it into UC Winroad after you have created it in your software. So let me find a video to show, and then we'll send it to you later, but I don't have it on hand right now. And I hope that will be able to give you more insight into how Vism works with our software. Just a moment, maybe I'll be able to find it. And if no one else has any more questions, after this question, we will close the seminar for today. But if you have any more questions, please put it into the chats now. Otherwise, I will take Mr. Tan Hao Min's question as the last one for today. Okay, so in this video, you can see the Vism data, and it's imported from this Vism into our without road surface. So this is how you import it into our software. And this was actually back in version 5.0. So this is like more than 10 years ago. We started doing this. So for sure in our newest version, we are also capable of doing this as well.
是你是车道那个是不看。
All right. So I hope that that could have been of help, or even just a slightest bit of help to your question. And I would really like to say a huge thank you to all the attendees for staying with us until the end. Thank you for joining us for today's VR seminar. And just a friendly reminder, we would really appreciate if you could take a few minutes out of your time to fill in our survey. So we'll bring you an even better seminar next time. Thank you, everybody. All right. And if that is all, I will close the Zoom room now. And just like my colleague has put into the chat, if you have any further questions that you might have forgotten or you might want to ask us at a later date, you can also email us at ist@forum8.co.jp. And thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, afternoon, evening, wherever you're located. Thank you again.